What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the podcast. It's your girl Shelly Nicole with the Remedy Podcast. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody had a great weekend. I had a good weekend. I had a good chilled weekend. Wasn't too crazy. I stayed my ass in the bed yesterday. I was not in the mood to go nowhere. I was tired. I was exhausted. So I just didn't go anywhere. I just stayed home. My friend wanted me to go with her to a barbecue. And I was just like, no thanks, bibs. Not in the mood. I am too tired. I was gonna go. I got like everything. Oh Jesus. Playing this damn music is dumb loud. Sorry. I was gonna go with her. I was gonna go. But then I got so tired. Like my eyes were still heavy. My body still felt tired. And when I thought about it, clearly last week was a very eventful week. It was barbecues. Oh no, we had the pool party, and then me and Bae drove to DC. So it was a lot last week. So I said, you know what? Today I'm gonna stay my ass in the house. Well, yesterday I'm gonna stay my ass in the house. But yeah, I was just tired. And then Saturday went to one of my friends, Charles and Tati, their baby shower. Congratulations to them. They are having a little bambino, a little baby, baby Chase. I think she's gonna have the baby by this month. She don't think so. She's trying to wait until September, but I think it's gonna be August. Nonetheless, congratulations to them. So that's why I did Saturday. But yeah, and then once I came back from DC, I was working. So it was a very chilled weekend after a very eventful past weekend. But as you can see, the summer is coming to an end. So, we're trying to get all of our parties in, all of our events in as much as possible, because the kids go back to school, at least up here in New York, they go back to school next month. So, or unless they're in charter school. I think charter school starts at the end of this month. Or it started already. I don't even know. I don't have kids. Sorry. But, yeah. I think they start next month. I don't know. I'm rambling right now. Anyway, this is a part 2 from the episode from last week about the qualities of your partner, qualities in your partner, the ones that you should be looking for, the ones that you should want. This is the part 2 where we are going to stay away from these qualities of a partner. These are the ones that you do not want to have. These are the ones that they shouldn't have. And if they do have it, maybe you need to exit stage left now while there's still time. So let's get into the episode. Now, first and foremost, I will definitely say this. I am in no way, shape, or form saying or judging anybody for this. Everyone has their, I want to say, moments of dealing with a partner who is like this. I won't say it's just for us women. I will say for men too, but I'm just talking to the women because, obviously I'm a woman. Duh. I can only speak on what I know. But I do feel like we tend to, at some point in our life, we tend to look at these qualities and just look away from them. We tend to just shoo them off and think it's not a big deal. At least I did in the beginning. I never really paid attention to it. I never really thought it was a bad thing. And I will be honest, I was always, or felt like I was always trying to be Captain Save-A-Ho, or trying to be I can't get it out. Mrs. Fix-It. Trying to be Mrs. Fix-It and thinking that just me being who I am will get someone to change. Absolutely not. Please, if that is your mindset, if that's what you're thinking, I need you to get rid of that mindset right now before we even continue with this conversation or with this episode, that you cannot change anyone. You are not put on this earth to be Mrs. Fix-It or to be Mr. Fix-It. You can only do what you can do for yourself and what you can do to help others. But I don't feel like anyone here on this earth are supposed to, their main goal is to fix anybody. So, again, let's get the episode started. So, the first thing I would say of things to stay away from when it comes to looking for a partner, or if you're currently in a relationship right now and your partner is doing this, or if you're dating this person, you may not be in a relationship yet, is the lack of communication. Now, when I say that, I mean like this person shuts down during important discussions, they avoid conflict instead of resolving it, they don't talk to you at all. They go days without speaking to you. If something is wrong, they, I guess, shut down even outside of important conversations, but they shut down regardless of whatever the conversation is. They don't know how to speak. They don't know how to just have a civilized conversation with you. If this is something that you're noticing or something that you see, you need to just, you know what, this was great. Thank you for the time. Thank you for the, thank you for the experience. Thank you, however you want to say it in the nicest way. There's no need for you to be rude about it. But I don't think this is going to work. And I think you need to then exit stage left. Because communication, I think, is the number one thing that every relationship needs. And if you cannot simply speak to me, and it doesn't necessarily have to mean that there's a problem. It just something that you need to vocalize. If there's something that's on your mind, or if there's something that you're going through, or, whatever it is. If this person can't do it, you're not supposed to be with them. I'm just going to tell you that right now. You're not supposed to be with them. I was dating someone prior to, I think I've probably talked about this before. More than likely I have. Because I use my own life examples when I talk about these topics, who had a terrible, when I say terrible, I mean terrible, top tier 1% terrible way of communicating. And he would go a day, 2 days without speaking to me, and then out of nowhere pop up, hey, babe, how you doing? Excuse me? Hey, babe. Oh, I'm sorry, you know who I am? It was terrible. And I've dated guys too who had the same thing. But again, this is me now looking at it from a 34-year-old perspective, looking back at a 22-year-old Michelle who was dating and seeing who I had dated at the time or who I was giving my energy to. It can mentally mess you up as well. It can make you feel like you're not enough. It can make you feel like what you're saying is bothersome. It can make you feel like whatever you have to say isn't important. So if you have these issues and the person doesn't know how to speak to you, or they're constantly, telling you like, what is it you want to talk about now? Okay, God, what now? What is it? Making it seem like you're a problem or you're an interference in their life. Just stop talking. Stop talking. Don't say anything to them. And go about your business. And I guarantee you, once you start doing that, and once you start ignoring them, and again, this is after you have said, no, I'm good, you clearly have bad communication, you clearly don't know how to speak to anyone, let them see that it is it's an issue for not only you, but probably for the next person that they date as well. Let them see it for themselves. It's not for you to figure out for them. And before I continue, let's be very clear. If someone's coming to you respectfully telling you that they no longer want to have this relationship, or they no longer want to date you, and they're coming to you respectfully about it, I'll sit here. Matter of fact, I'll take that back. Because if it's a relationship and they say they don't want to be with you, or they rather be single and they rather you guys just be friends, it's different. So I'll leave that part out. But if you're dating someone, and I'm not saying that you're in a relationship, you're just dating them, and you go and tell them that, hey, you know what, I think it's just best that we're friends. I just think it's, we want two different things in our life. Nothing against you, but that's just how I see it. There's no reason why you're coming at them disrespectfully or attacking them for what it is that they're telling you that they need, that you cannot provide for them. I hate seeing that. And especially, it comes from men more than I think it comes from women. And I know a lot of men are going to sit here and probably say, no, that's not true. But it is. I'm not saying that there is no woman out here that's probably been like, well, then fuck you then. If you don't want to talk to me, fine. That's why you're here. I'm not saying that that's not true. But what I'm saying is, I have, and we all have seen more men take rejection so harshly than women have. Men cannot take rejection as much as you think you guys can. Because if you're trying to talk to a woman, if you're just driving down, you pull over, or you're walking down the street and you see a woman that you think she's pretty, or whatever the case is, if she's telling you politely, no, I'm okay, I don't, thank you, but no, I'm good, or I have a boyfriend, or I'm just really not interested in dating right now, whatever the case is, and she's very respectful about it, for you to then turn around and then say, well, this is why you this, and this is why your back big, and this is why your ass is flat, and but you were just trying to talk to me, so make it make sense, sicko. Like, be for real, psycho. Like, what? I can't stand when I see men do that. It's hilarious. I've had that happen to me one time, and I just looked at him and I started laughing. I was like, you're pathetic. And I walked off. Okay, so the next thing that you want to stay away from is manipulation or gaslighting. And I know this is going to be kind of hard, because even when I had dealt with this, it was kind of hard to see in the beginning, because you're blind by everything else that they have to offer, or everything else about them. Could be the way that they look, could be what they have, it could be how they dress, it could be just whatever the case may be. It could be the sex, it could be anything. You're blindsided by all of that, so you really don't pay attention to the manipulation and the gaslighting and the love bombing that they give you, until you're a few months in and you start to really see it, like, okay, wait a second, this doesn't seem right. But I kind of want all of us to be more conscious of it when we're dating, now that we're in our older years, but not even just us who are older, like in our 30s and 40s. I want to say people who are even in their 20s and they're seeing it now at a younger age, seeing it at like a, okay, you have issues. Like, what is this? What are you doing? So people who are normally like this, they twist situations to make you feel like you're at fault. So if you're ever dealing with someone who does that, that's a problem. And that they make you question your reality or your feelings. So if you're really upset, if you're really mad, if there's something that they're doing that's really pissing you off, and they're like, do you see yourself? Like, do you understand what you're doing right now? Like, look at you, bro. Look at you. You're acting up. You're acting crazy. And they're laughing. And they're trying to make it seem like as if what you're doing isn't a clear result into what they have been doing the entire time. So your reaction isn't an issue. Your reaction is an issue, rather, from what it is that they were doing. People who have never experienced a manipulator, who've never experienced someone who is a gaslighter, you're not going to understand. So this may not be for you. But for those of us, because I myself have dealt with it, who have dealt with men or women who will sit here and mastermind you, will literally play you like a puppeteer and make you feel like you're the problem all the time, when they don't see their problems in what they're doing. Or if they do, but they're just so good at what they're doing. They're so good at manipulating. They're so good at playing this role that they're going to trigger you in any way, shape, or form. You have to be 10 steps ahead of a manipulator. When a situation goes wrong, like I remember my ex, he was a super manipulator. To this day, I guarantee you, if you were to ask him, he'll tell you no. But he was a super manipulator. When he had cheated on me, we kind of like figured out how we were going to go past this and how we were going to get through it. I've never stayed with anybody who cheated on me. This is my first time doing it, because I was like, you know what, maybe let me think of it in a sense of forgive someone and move on and see if you can go, on with life. Clearly, I always told myself I could never do it. I showed myself that I could never do it. But even when I would get triggered off of small things that he was doing that just made me feel like, okay, he's doing it again, I would react in a way that I guess wasn't terrible, but in a way that now if I look at it, it's like, all right, you ain't have to do all that. But I would react in a way where I was angry. I would start shouting. I would get really, really upset. And he would just look at me. He'll sit on the sofa. He'll just look at me and just be like, what are you doing? Like, do you see yourself? But bro, you're just texting someone. You were just texting someone. I seen the phone. I see what you were doing. You're trying to make it seem like it's not a big deal. But it is. You're trying to make it seem like I'm bugging, that I shouldn't be reacting to what it is I just seen you do. So instead of you just taking fault, or instead of you just seeing that, hey, I'm still being the problem here because I'm doing something that I know would make her upset, you're going to twist it and spin this shit and twist it and make it seem like I'm losing it, like I'm bugging it. He was very good at doing that. And it wasn't until, I want to say after he cheated on me, maybe a few months later, where I just didn't even, every little game that he tried to use against me, or any little game that he tried to play with me when it comes to manipulating or gaslighting or love bombing or the whole whatever, I just sat there and I did a him on him. And it pissed him off. It made him even more upset. But I had got to that point already where I was just like, yeah, this relationship is done. I'm not doing this no more. I see what you're doing. I prayed for clarity. I spoke to, did I have a therapist at the time? I don't think I did. I think I probably just spoke to one of my friends maybe. Or maybe I didn't know. I didn't tell anybody about this. I didn't speak to any friends about it. But I did pray on it. I prayed on it. I wrote, I was writing a lot. And I was at my wit's end. I was done. But I ended up pulling a him on him. And it pissed him off. And then I just eventually said, yeah, so this relationship is done. We're done. And he tried the whole, buying me flowers. I come home and there's sweet, little shit on the the bed. And, his stuff in the living room. Just sweet things that he kept trying to do. And I would literally turn the light back on, shut the laptop off. He was playing music, shut the laptop off, push all that shit on the floor, and was just like, yeah, no, I'm good. I'm fine. I don't want any of it. And then eventually, we ended up breaking up. But nonetheless, anybody who does that and twists your situation and makes you feel like you are at fault for what it is, for your reaction to what it is that they have done, leave. Don't even try to sit here and continue to plead your case. Don't even sit here and try to get them to hear you, to get them to see you. Don't try to do any of it, because it's not going to work. It's only going to piss you off even more. It's only going to make you more angry. Just go. And for anyone who sits here and says like, well, we have years in it, we have, it's been so long, I've been with this person for months, or would you rather be in hell for months, or would you rather be at peace for the next however long it is until the person that you're supposed to be with finds you? Think of it that way. Are you going to waste more time being upset, more time of these games that this person's going to play with you? Or would you rather be at peace and just wait for that person who you're supposed to be with to find you, to bring that peace, to bring clarity and calmness to your life? Think of it that way first, because if you do end up thinking with that mindset, rather than, well, I spent so much money, I spent so much time, I'm not going to let the next girl sit here and get all the time that I've spent with this man. Sweetheart, he didn't change because of you. You made him see things in himself, but he's not going to change simply because of what you have done for him. He has to want to do it for himself. You have played a part in it. It will help him it will be a reminder to him as he's beginning his journey of changing, but he's going to change for the woman who he wants to change for. You have nothing, if he hasn't done it for you, if he hasn't changed for you, if he hasn't done the things that you're looking for, you're not the woman for him. You're not. All right, number 3, the disrespect. And number 4, the jealousy and control. If the disrespect is louder than the love and affection that you're supposed to be receiving, you gotta go. The person dismisses your opinions, they dismiss your boundaries, they dismiss your emotions. They don't give a damn about how you're feeling. They don't care what it is you have to say. Exit. Stage left. The jealousy and the control consistently questions who you're with and what you're doing. They constantly try to isolate you from your friends and your family. Get rid of them. If it's always a thing of like, well, hey babe, let's go. My let's just say for instance, my sister's having a barbecue, or my sister's having a pool party, or she wants us to meet up. She's doing everything for the family and we're going to go to this restaurant. Well, why we got to go there? I don't want to do that. Why do I have to do that? No, let's not do that. Let's go do this instead. If every time something comes up with the family and you can never go, or he's always trying to say to you, no, why should we do that? Or she's always like, well, I don't like your family and I don't like being around them, and this one's irritating, and that one thing she knows it all. Like, babe, why we have to do that? Like, let's not even go there. If it's a constant pulling you away from your friends, your family, it's always me time. You can never hang out with your girls. You can never hang out with the guys. If they feel, and then another big one is if they always start a fucking argument every time you're about to go hang out with your friends. Every time you were about to hang out with your friends and they start an argument with you, you got to let that person go too. Yep, because that's also a way of them being jealous and controlling and trying to get you to feel bad for leaving. You're heading out. All right, I'll see you later. I'll check you later. Or even if y'all don't live together, you're calling them, you're telling them, I'm getting dressed, I'm going to go hang out with the guys, or I'm going to go hang out with the girls, we're going to brunch. You always want to hang out with them. Like, you never make time for me. Meanwhile, y'all was just together the day before. Like, what? Are you sick? Are you okay? I don't even want to. Bringing back memories. I'm telling y'all, bringing back memories. But the disrespect, constantly, not hearing your opinions or hearing your emotions and telling you, like, not necessarily telling you to shut up, but in a way telling you to shut up, or they don't care, or what you're saying is not valid, and you think you know everything and you think that you're right all the time, when it's like, well, I'm not right all the time, but I'm telling you how I'm feeling about this particular situation and you're not listening to me. The frequent interruptions, the frequent belittling, the freaking talking over you every time you try to say something, the belittling thing and trying to make you the butt of the jokes. Oh my God. Again, something that I seen in my ex. I did a whole birthday dinner for him, and I think it was one thing that I forgot what exactly it was, but his sister checked him. Because I think I was sitting next to him, or maybe I was sitting next to his mom or my mom. I was sitting next to someone. I don't even know. And he said something along the lines of like, yeah, that's something that you need to do. When it comes, I think somebody was in her, no, my mom, that's who it was. My mom was in her phone, and I was like, who are you texting? And I'm looking at it because she was really texting someone. She was like, nobody. And something like that. And he, I guess, saw me doing that. He said, yeah, that's something that you need to do. Basically saying that I need to mind my business and stop looking at the phone. So my mom stopped what she was doing, looked at him, his sister looked at him and told him, watch your mouth. Don't be funny in front of family or in front of friends. I looked away like, this boy right here, he really tried it. Just very disrespectful, or trying to be the center of trying to be the center of attention and being very disrespectful at that. But if you're dealing with anyone who has any of those traits, the jealousy, the control, it's not love. They're not doing it because they love you. They're not doing it because they're trying to protect you. No. They're doing it because they want you to themselves. They don't want you to have any friends. They want you to be by yourself. They don't want you to have a life outside of them. They want their presence to be your life. They want what they have going on with them to be all you are supposed to think about, and that's it, and that's all. It's very sad, but you do have people that are like that. Number 5 is inconsistency. Now, I don't think I need to say much about this because we are now living in a time where inconsistency seems to be a thing for a lot of people when it comes to the dating world. And not just the dating world, I guess just in general too, where people have hot and cold behavior that creates confusion. They make promises that they don't keep. One moment you feel like, this relationship is good at getting somewhere, or I'm dating this person and it's getting there. Like, I feel like he's gonna ask me to be his girlfriend, or I feel like she really fucking with me. Like, she's all over me. She buys me this. She's bought me that, or he's bought me this. He's bought me that. He's taken me on dates, yada, 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 the whole thing. And then it just stops, or you don't hear from them. Or, you end up at a restaurant by yourself when you're supposed to meet the person there. I don't understand. And for the people who constantly do this, if you're listening, I don't understand what brain cells got fried in your head. Like, are you sleeping with the phone next to your head that it's just not correlating? And it's just not connecting, that how that can make anybody confused because they don't know where they stand with you. And this again goes back to the communication. If you are dating multiple people, if you are and this is if you're dating, like you're just going on dates and you're trying to see who you like, what it is you like, if this is for you, if this is not for you. If you have clear communication in saying that, hey, I'm also dating you, but I'm dating other people as well. It's not just me and you solely. I have 2 other females that I'm dating, or I have 2 other men that I'm dating. And I'm just trying to see who can give me what it is that I need at the time. I remember, again, before I started dating my boyfriend now, I was dating a few guys. I was dating like 3 guys. And I remember I said this to the 3rd guy who wanted, us to go on dates. And I said, well, I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm dating multiple guys. I didn't say I was fucking multiple guys. I said I was dating multiple guys. I really didn't have sex with any of them. But I was dating multiple guys. And if you're okay with that, or if this is, you're cool with it, if you're just looking for somebody who's just really serious about you and you only, then me and you aren't going to work. Because I'm trying to figure out who is going to be for real, who's going to be honest with themselves, who wants the same things that I do. And may the best man win. He was up for it until he wasn't. But again, I was at least honest with him. If you can't sit here and be consistent with me in our dating phase, please don't think that they're going to be consistent with you when you guys are in a relationship. And please don't think that asking this person to be in a relationship with you will then mean that, okay, they'll be consistent now because now I'm their girlfriend. Okay, now I'm their boyfriend. Now they don't have a choice. Well, they do. They do. Because boyfriend and girlfriend is just like the little stage. When you're in a marriage, that's different. But at the boyfriend and girlfriend stage, you're still getting to know who this person is. It's easier to leave at this stage than it is to leave in a marriage. But if they are not giving you that consistent love, the consistent affection, the consistent communication, if they can go 2-3 days without speaking to you, and then speak to you, and then come out of nowhere like, hey honey, how you doing? Excuse me? What? Who are you talking to? I don't go by honey, and my name is so and so, and that's how you will address me, and I will talk to you when I'm ready to talk to you. And go about your business. And I guarantee you, after that, when you go a few days without speaking to them, it's gonna hurt, because you end up starting to have these little bit of butterflies, these little bit of feelings. But it it's gonna make sense. It'll make sense after a while, and you'll see them for who they really are. They don't keep promises that they say they're gonna keep. You're not a top priority in their life. This is another good one. The lack of ambition or drive. They have no personal goals or desires to grow. They're unmotivated and they're stagnant in life. So, first I will say this. I think that we all have a moment in our life where we become complacent and we become stagnant. That we just are good with where we're at in life, and we're either too scared to move, or we just don't know where we're going. And understand that that is okay, because we're all trying to figure it out. The point is to not stay there for long. You have to want to grow. And I'm not just talking about financially or in your career. I'm just talking about as a person. Acting the same way, doing the same things. If the person that you're dating doesn't push you to become better, doesn't ask you, okay, so what's next? Where are we going from here? Where are you going from here? Where do you see yourself in the next 3 years? What are you trying to do in the next few years? I even told myself this, and this is prior to me getting in a relationship, that next year cannot be the same for me how it has been for the last 2-3 years. Granted, personally, I have grown. My growth has changed drastically, and I see that, and I noticed it a lot. But now I'm focusing more on career. I'm focusing more on this podcast, focusing more on what is my next step to having my financial freedom that I want to have. Because my personal growth has changed, like I said, drastically. I'm not the same person that I was at 27, at 30. I'm not that same person. And someone, if not yourself, should be able to push you and to get you to be that person. And if it's not that person, God more than likely should be the one to push you into that direction, to tell you, okay, now it's time for you to change. Or I need you to leave this place and go here. Because God's going to be louder than anybody else. Any friend, any boyfriend, any girlfriend, any family member, God is going to speak to you way louder than anybody else that you can imagine. He's going to tell you when it's time. He'll put you in a situation and tell you it's time for you to grow. Or time for you to move. So, if the person that you're dating doesn't have that ambition to want more for themselves, doesn't have that ambition to become somebody better, you're going to end up being the same way, being stagnant, or you're going to end up being the person who's going to have to pick up the pieces and pick up the slack, or it's going to become draining. You're going to be bored. You're going to feel tired. You're going to feel like you're doing all the investing. You're doing all the time and preparation into becoming someone better. And this person is just like a weight holding you down from becoming the person that you're supposed to be. You don't want to be with that person either. Another major one. Another good one. Avoids accountability. Blames others for their mistakes. Refuses to apologize or change. Listen, this is not just a relationship thing. This is a family. This is friends. This is you, yourself, with you and you. Taking accountability is probably right there next to communication. If you can't take ownership of your own bullshit, of what it is you have done wrong, of what it is that has kept you from either continuing or holding on to a relationship, continuing and holding on to a career or personal growth, whatever the case may have been. If you cannot take ownership in that, you are always going to suffer and fail when it comes to life. Sorry, not sorry. You're always going to have this back and forth with whomever it is you end up being with in your life, or whoever it is you come in contact with, because you're always blaming others for their mistakes and not blaming yourself for what you couldn't or should have done. If you think you're always right, if you think that there's never a chance in hell that you're wrong, because there's no one out here in the world that's always right about everything. They're not. There are people who have been wrong and have done things that did not make sense. If that person cannot say, you know what, I was wrong for doing that. You know what, that was fucked up of me to have said that. Or that was fucked up of me to have done that. And I am truly, truly, truly sorry. And then you see the actions behind the sorry, of them changing, of them improving, then great. But if not, if they cannot say sorry, or they give you a half-ass sorry, like, okay, fine, I'm sorry. Are you better now? You didn't really mean it. You just said it just so I could shut up and I could stop talking about it. But you didn't really mean that sorry. Saying I'm sorry and saying that I was wrong for something that I have done speaks volumes about you as a person. Forget everything else. It just speaks volumes as a person, how you're able to say, you know what, I was wrong. I should have done this differently. I should have done that differently. And then move forward in that change. If they cannot apologize, if they cannot change, if they cannot see their issues where they are at, nope, don't deal with them either. And the other three that I have are self-centeredness. We don't like those. Addiction or substance abuse that are unaddressed. People who, can deeply impact their trust, stability, and safety, and especially if they refuse to help or deny that they have a problem. And disloyalty. People who are dishonest. They flirt with others, they cheat, breaks trust repeatedly, not just once or twice. They constantly do it. It's funny how people will get loyalty written on them and then have no idea what the definition of loyalty really means. Like, you cannot sit here and cheat on me, flirt with other people, deliberately make it your duty to mess around and do the things that you're doing and then tell me that you love me or tell me that you care about me. How do you care about me? You're clearly not caring about my emotions, because when I find out that you've cheated, or it comes to the surface, because everybody swears up and down that, for cheaters at least, that they'll never get caught. You may not get caught right now. You can probably go years with cheating. You can go years with having a mistress or having a side man or whatever the case may have been. You could go years and years and years on doing that. But eventually, karma comes, and you never know when karma is going to come. Sometimes she can be very instant, and then sometimes she is like a thief in the night and comes out of nowhere, and you don't even, like, girl, what? Catches you straight off guard, and you have no idea that she was standing here the whole time. You cannot tell me that I'm supposed to trust you when you do and say the things that you do. And then when I address it to you, you then turn to the side and be like, well, no, you're bugging. People who are self-centered, always puts themselves first, lacks consideration for your needs, for other people's needs. A self-centered person, I think like now at this, before I used to like really, really address it, like really make it a thing to address it. Now I kind of just look at it and then I look away and then I just stop, what's the word? Disassociate myself with them. And then when they ask, I tell them. I don't do it in front of people. I don't make it a big show. I don't feel like that's something that you should do either. But I do address it. I do say it. I'm very sure in saying that, you know what, like, hey, you're a little bit wrong for doing that. And the addiction and substance abuse, this is mostly for people who don't address that they have that. It can impact someone's life tremendously. If a close friend, a family member, your significant other, because in this situation we're talking about significant others, right? If I'm telling you that, hey, I noticed that you have an addiction, let's say to gambling, that you gamble a lot, and a lot of your money is going to these casinos or, you know, the draft, like what is it, DraftKings and all these other betting sites. And a lot of the times that they're losing, they're not winning. And I'm addressing it. I'm telling you, like, hey, this is not conducive for us. It's not good for our relationship. I should be able to sit here and say that, and I should be able to address that and tell you where I see a problem and I see that you have an addiction to something that can be detrimental to us. Especially if we're talking future. If we're talking years in, we're talking about marriage, we're talking about wanting to do more for ourselves. I can see that for a lot of people, it can be difficult to address that because you're trying to figure out an exact way of how to say it without being disrespectful, but I do think it's something that has to or should be at least addressed. Other, like substance abuse, like if it's something stronger, like, you know, drugs or alcohol, that is something that may need professional work. That's something that may, you know, call for intervention, which I feel like if you're close to the person's family member, you should be able to speak to their family member and say, listen, I want to have an intervention to let them know that it's getting worse or it's a problem. And, you know, a lot of it can also come from what we're dealing with today. I will say this, you know, working out, I do see way more people working out now and putting their health first. And I think it's just not only for medical reasons, but I do feel like a lot of people go now to the gym or, you know, run in the park, whatever, because that's their way of decompressing and releasing the stress of the times that we're living in. It's a headache. It is a shit show. And that can also drive people to substance abuse. Losing their job, losing everything that they have, and falling into the crack of what alcohol can do temporarily, or what, you know, coke, right? Any type of hard drug can do. And this isn't to look down on anyone who is or has gone through this. I feel like, you know, it is something that you try to avoid, but something that sometimes ends up being the replacement for what was lost because it's just easier to deal with. But if you find that in your partner, if you find that that is an issue, I do feel like a deeper intervention needs to happen. That, you know, sometimes writing letters and having them read it can hit them a little bit harder than just vocally speaking it to them. But if they refuse if they refuse to get the help that they need, it's up to you. It's really a personal choice in that sense, because if you feel like I can't do anything else but to address it, and I brought it to their attention and I told them, and they still don't see the importance of it, if you've had the intervention and they still don't see the importance of it, it's honestly up to you. I can't tell you to leave. I can't tell you to stay. I can only tell you what I can only say. It's up to you. That's really it. Because everyone deals with situations like this differently. Some people, it's best that they walk away because they have to deal with it in their own personal life, or they have to deal with it when it comes to family, or whoever. Some people don't even have the patience. They're not dealing with that, so they're going to leave you where you're at. But it's all different. Some people have more patience than others, and they are willing to stick around. But if someone is coming to you telling you that you have this addiction, that you have this problem, understand that, and especially if it's more than one person, understand that it's not an attack on you. It is because they love you and they care about you and they want to see you healthy. They want to see you in a better mindset. And it's not just, like I said, substance abuse. It could be gambling. You could have a gambling problem. You could have a sex addiction problem. Like, there's so many different type of addictions outside of alcohol and like hard drugs. There's so many of them that people don't realize that they are addicted to. Shopping, constantly shopping. People who are hoarders, that's also another bad addiction. There's a lot. There is a lot. So understand that if you have anybody in your life telling you that, it's just for the help. They just want you to get help. That's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. This was really just about all the qualities that we don't want to have in our partners. And as always, I always try to bring my own personal life into my podcast, because I am also looking for remedies to get past things that I have gone through, right? But I'm glad that you guys are here. I'm glad you guys listened. I'm glad that you guys are sharing. I see y'all sharing these episodes. I see it. I like it. I like what I'm seeing here. So thank you for doing that. If you guys want to be on any episodes that I have coming up, I always post them on my stories on the remedy _ podcast on IG. And if you guys want to be a part of it, just let me know. We can hook it up, whether we're in person, whether we're just doing it over the internet. I don't know why I drew a blank. Over the internet, if we just do FaceTime, whatever the case is, however you want to do it, let's talk about it. Let's find the remedy. Let's figure it out. Okay. Love you guys for listening. I hope you guys have a great week. Hope you guys enjoy your day tomorrow at work. If you're working, if you're off, I love that for you. Whatever happens today, leave that shit into today. Don't bring that shit into tomorrow. Love you guys. Bye.